So you're a cloud architect. You embrace serverless on Azure, and man, things are moving fast. But what happens when that neat little collection of functions and logic apps just explodes? When it becomes this sprawling, untamed digital jungle? Well, today we're going to break down exactly how you bring order to that chaos and build a serverless architecture that's not just powerful, but truly scalable and sustainable. You know, it always starts with the promise, doesn't it? Serverless is sold as this ticket to pure velocity. Go faster, innovate, experiment, and completely forget about virtual machines ever again. But for so many organizations, the reality at scale, well, it looks a lot different. It's a tangled mess of spiraling costs, bugs that are impossible to find, and just this general feeling that you've lost control. This right here, this is the conflict we need to solve.
And that messy reality, it often kicks off with what I like to call the serverless gold rush. You know, that initial, super exciting phase where every single development team is empowered to just build and deploy with incredible speed.
And let's be really clear, this is not a bad thing. In those early days, this kind of freewheeling innovation is exactly what you want. Teams are shipping features, they're solving real business problems, and the energy is just fantastic. But, and this is a big but, without any guardrails, that very same velocity is planting the seeds for some serious complexity and confusion down the road. And then, eventually you hit a tipping point. That initial speed starts to grind to a halt, bogs down by the very things you've built. This is that moment when the untamed estate really starts to show its painful symptoms. So imagine you open your monthly cloud bill and you see this number staring back at you. 45%. 45% of your total spend is unidentifiable. This isn't just a number. It's one of the most common signs of serverless sprawl. It represents thousands of resources with no clear owner, no obvious purpose, and absolutely no one to hold accountable for the cost. And that's just one of the breaking points, right? You start seeing all these other signs. The finance team's asking about bills you just can't explain. What should be a simple bug fix takes an entire day to trace across 5 different serverless functions. You've got one team leaving an endpoint wide open to the public while another locks everything down tight. And your developers, the ones who are moving at lightning speed, they're now stuck in digital mud. That's when you know you have to act. Okay, so this is where you, the architect, get to step in. It is time to introduce the toolkit for taming this wild estate. We're going to establish 3 core pillars of control that will bring sanity back to your serverless world. The first, and honestly the most foundational pillar, is governance. The easiest way to think about it is just the rules of the road. It's not about slowing people down with red tape. It's about painting lines on the highway so everyone can drive fast but safely. It's how you ensure every single resource is consistent, secure, and compliant from the second it's created. Good governance really breaks down into 3 simple, actionable things. First up, naming. A resource named funcprod_user_auth_weu instantly tells me it's a production function for user authentication in West Europe. There's no guesswork. Second, tagging. A simple tag like owner team alpha means you always know who to call when something's on fire. And finally, policy. Think of this as your automated enforcer. Use tools like Azure Policy to just automatically deny the creation of public endpoints, for example. Problem solved before it even starts. All right, our second pillar is observability. In this new distributed serverless world, you can't just log into the box anymore. So observability is this crucial ability to actually see what's happening across all your functions and services. It lets you trace a single request from the beginning all the way to the end and really understand performance without just guessing. And the third pillar, cost control. This is all about financial accountability. When you combine that governance we talked about, especially tagging, with Azure's cost management tools, you can finally attribute every single dollar of your cloud spend to a specific team, project, or feature. Remember that scary 45% of mystery costs? It just vanishes. Now, with these pillars in place, we can actually shift our mindset. We can finally stop running around putting out fires all day and start proactively designing a platform that prevents them from even starting in the first place. I love this quote because it just perfectly captures the idea of building a platform. See, you don't just hand a developer a pile of bricks and say, go build a house. No. You give them a blueprint, you give them pre-approved materials and a solid foundation. You create paved roads, these well-defined patterns that make it incredibly easy for developers to do the right thing. So how do you build one of these paved roads?
It's actually a pretty simple four-step process. First, find a common task that everyone's doing, like authenticating a user. Second, build a shared library that handles it perfectly. Third, you wrap that library in a reusable ARM or Bicep template so developers can deploy it with just one click. And finally, you use Azure policy to make sure that only this approved pattern is used for authentication. See, you just made the easy way the right way.
Underneath all of this, there is one single rule that is absolutely non-negotiable. Every single resource, every function app, every logic app, every single storage account, it must have a clear owner. If a resource doesn't have an owner, it's an orphan. And orphans, they create technical debt, they create security risks, and they create those mystery costs we hate. A simple tag is all it takes.
Okay, so let's bring this all together. By combining governance, observability, and these platform patterns, you're creating a system of sustainable serverless by design. Here are the final guidelines to carry forward with you.
First, govern from day one. Don't wait for the chaos to set in. Second, centralize your observability. Give everyone a single source of truth to look at. Third, make costs visible, because when teams actually see their own spend, believe me, they start to manage it. Fourth, invest in those paved road platform patterns to make the right way the easy way. And finally, mandate clear ownership for every single thing, no exceptions.
And that brings us to the final question you should ask yourself. I want you to look at your own environment through this lens we've just discussed. Are you intentionally architecting a powerful and sustainable serverless estate, or are you maybe accidentally cultivating a serverless mess? The choice, and now the tools to fix it, are yours.